Hi everyone, today we will talk about the sequel to Knight Rider, which is called in France The Return of K-2000. It is an American series of 2008 created by David Andron, produced by Doug Liman, Dave Bardis, and Gary Scott Thompson. The pilot was broadcast on the 17th February 2008, and the series it was broadcast between the 24th September 2008 and on the 4th of March 2009 on the NBC network. In Quebec, the TV movie was broadcast on the 27th December 2009, and the series from the 5th of January 2010 on ZTV. So much for all broadcasts. We will follow Mike Tracer, played by Justin Bruning, who is the hidden son of Michael Knight. From the original series, he worked for Knight Industries Research and Development, supervised by NSA agent Alex Torres, played by Yancey Arias, and FBI agent Carrie Revi, played by Sidney Tamia Poitier. Other team members include Charles Grayman, played by Bruce Davison, he is the creator of KITT, and his daughter Sarah, played by Deanna Russo, who will also be the love interest of our hero. In their team there are also the technology specialists Billy Morgan, played by Paul Campbell, and Zoe Chai, played by Smith Cho. So, in the pilot of the series, we learn that Mike has memory problems following a trauma that obviously does not remember, and it coincides with the time when he no longer spoke to Sarah Grayman. People who pretend to be associates of Mike, of whom he has no memory, will come to fuck the mess in his first mission, and to stop this, Carrie orchestra his death as well as that of Mike Tracer, and so he will take the name of Michael Knight and he will resume his missions with KITT and the sequel. Well, watch the series, otherwise I'm spoiling everything. The most important character of this series is therefore the car, so for this new series a new car was needed, and so they chose a Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 Model V6 automatic modified to pass it off as a Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 KR manual, and the gearbox details will create some inconsistencies. The automatic lever is visible in some rare scenes from inside the car. It was created by Harold Belker, and the parts to modify it in Shelby were created by Ted Moser of Picture Car Warehouse. 3 versions of KITT were made for the TV movie pilot and the series, obviously, so there is the KITT and Hero car, the car that we see up close and which is the most finished. Their KITT attacks a high-speed version with air ride technology and suspension and all the special body parts for this famous attack mode, and there will be another version that will be rebuilt for the series, and the KITT remote and unmanned version of the Hero, because as for all the visual transformations of KITT, the change between the versions are done digitally with a CGI animation, and which has also aged really badly. It is Val Kilmer who lends his voice to KITT in the original version and Philippe Catois in the French version, and in the genesis of the series it is manufactured by Charles Grayman, presented as the designer of the first KITT on behalf of Wilton Knight. Those who create an inconsistency with the original series, by the way, and be careful, it is not the same KITT as the series of 1986, even if their characters are close. Yes, learning that it breaks the thing. I was convinced it was the same when I saw the series at the time. The real KITT was disabled in 1990 from Michael from the Foundation and stored in a shed, and they left him there while he is aware of himself. It's a bit special. So here it is. The 3000 series of KITT, K3000 or Knight 3000 Industries in English. The car is also indestructible, but not thanks to molecular shell technology. This model there has a nanite shell. It allows it to change shape and allows a self-repair, but big problem that in KITT is inactive. The car is vulnerable to attacks, not like our good old Pontiac Trans Am 82, which was armored even without leaving at the controls, and it has from a high-speed mode named Attack in the driver, and it will just be represented by an elongated rear wing. In the rest of the episodes, the car changes and becomes more aggressive, and it can reach 376 miles. Same for the KITT voice box in the driver. It is in a touchscreen on the console of the car, and in the rest of the episodes it becomes an orb in the middle of the dashboard. The interface of the car is fully tactile, and voice. The screen is replaced by head-up touch displays covering the entire interior surface. From the windshield to display information, communications, and other visuals on the windshield. The hood of the car is tactile. It can scan objects placed on it, and it has some kind of display. As on the windshield, the glove box, it has a physical keyboard to access KITT data. It has an analyzer, a printer, and a fingerprint creator, and a pharmacy in the trunk. There is a 3D object generator, as well as a self-destruct program, which also contradicts the original series. It was put there in case it gets out of control. As car for weapons, it has a grappling hook, a laser that it shoots with its scanner bar, an electromagnetic pulse system, a non-lethal taser. offensive missile launchers, mini double pistols, flares, a parachute, a dart gun, a sonic inhibitor, and it's not finished. Its turbo boost allows it to fly briefly. It can also literally transform thanks to its nanoskin. Besides, we will see it in Ford F-150 in Ford Victoria Interceptor Police in Ford E-150 Valves in Ford Mustang Warrior Convertible Pink in Mustang Mach-1 of 1969 and Ford Flex, and it can even become a submarine, and it can obviously change color at will, of course, and there are other small gadgets that are hidden in the episodes. I let you discover them because the list is really long. And KITT also has intelligent robot mechanics named Kathy, Lisa, and Hank, and they scan KITT to fix it and other technical stuff to do on it, and they can interact with humans. That's all there is in this car. I think they did too much, especially that budget level. He did not have the means of their ambitions. Stunts and cars were too expensive. NBC preferred to make the majority in digital version. And what would KITT be without its evil alter ego car, acronym of Knight Auto Cybernetic Roving Robotics Exoskeleton, who will be in episode 12 of the series. It is Peter Cullen who will lend his voice to this car 2.0. In original version, we learn in this episode that he was also created by Charles Grayman. In the past, KITT researches car and discovers that he had the ability to evolve his own programming and changing its own form. It will appear in the series in car identical to KITT as usual, and also in the form of a robot with more destructive abilities than. And we learn in a pre-recorded message from Dr. Grayman that reveals that Mike was the driver of Car and that his memories were erased after Car got out of control. Car had blown a lead and killed 7 men, and they disabled him. Then later villains reactivated him in the series. In 2007, NBC Universal director Jeff Zucker hired Ben Silverman as NBC's chief programmer to help them get out of the hole he had put himself in at the bottom of TV broadcast network ratings. Silverman had the brilliant idea to revive old licenses like Knight Rider, and thanks to agreements approved by Ford Motor Company, the production of the pilot was able to be made. The viewers appreciated, and they were 12 million in front of their TV on the 17th February, and the production of the episodes was launched in the wake and broadcast in September 2008. NBC ordered a season of 22 episodes. After each broadcast of an episode, they were available on the PlayStation Network Video Store, on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and on the iTunes Store to boost audiences. But a concern loomed. The showrunner of the series, Gary Scott Thompson, had a special vision of it, too focused on terrorism and more on helping the average person, as in the original version. Then, on the 10th of November 2008, NBC reformatted the series so that it is more like the version 2982. Suddenly several actors landed at the end of their contract, which was 12 episodes, like Yancey Arias, Bruce Davison, and Sidney Tamia Poitier, who will even make 11. The series she was refocused on Michael Knight, but the damage was already done. The ratings continued to decline, and on the 3rd of December 2008, NBC reduced the series to 17 episodes and cancelled everything else. And end of the story. Gary Scott Thompson, the producer and showrunner of the episodes, did not like the pilot. For him, the relationship with the old series was not obvious, and so it was he who made big changes, like the ones I described earlier, between the pilot and the episodes of the series. But hey, there was no more connection with his version than the version of the original. He should have given way to someone who had loved the pilot if he himself had not liked him from the start. In short, surely a money story as usual. Conversely, David Hasselhoff really liked the pilot and gave him all his support. At the series, he even made a cameo in the pilot, but when he learned that it was Gary Scott Thompson who was taking over the series, he withdrew from his support. Those who say big about what he thought it would become. And he was right. Basically, it was not Val Kilmer who had been chosen first to do the voice of KITT in the original version. They had taken the actor Will Arnett to interpret it, and he even recorded the whole driver before being fired 2 weeks before the broadcast on TV. And why? Because it was him who did the voice in the commercials for GMC strong pickup trucks. NBC didn't want KITT's voice to be the one he made look like a pickup truck, and Val Kilmer was called to the rescue at the last moment. As long as David Hasselhoff, he had proposed to Chris Rock to do the voice of KITT, but the latter refused. Actress Smith Cho, who plays Zoe Chai, was a guest in the first 12 episodes, and she, unlike her colleagues, saw her role passed as a regular for the last 5 episodes of the series. In the episode codename, Iguana, or Night of the Iguana, there's a nod to the original series. Mike and Zoe had to use an assumed name and chose Devon and Bonnie in honor of Devon Miles, manager of the Flag, and Bonnie Barstow, who were maintaining KITT. We can also quickly see a photo of KITT Pontiac version, partially covered by a tarpaulin in a workshop where the new KITT was developed, and at other times in the episodes, we also see parts of the old KITT hidden here and there. All episode titles in original version contain the word night, and in addition, when the reorganization of the episodes was done, NBC changed the broadcast orders, so the episode 13 was originally the 17, the 15 became the 14, the 16 became the 15, and the 16 became the 14, so the series it was completely turned upside down. And in the English titles, they also made an episode called Night of the Zodiac, but I do not remember if there was a reference to the cartoon The Knights of the Zodiac. But it's funny. This series is the second spin-off where there is a child of Michael Knight in it as the main character. The other appears in codename TKR of 1997, and it is a girl named Jenny Andrews. In the series she pilots Domino, and this series moreover erases all the other spin-off, so the movie this series of the continuity of the story. There are some guests who have passed in the series. I put the best known, but if I forgot your darling, the comments are there for that. So we find Peter Cullen, who does the voice of Carr for the second time. He had already done it in the series of 1982, and there is David Hasselhoff, who makes a cameo in his original role here. As the father of the new Michael, we find Megna Markle, who plays the role of Annie Ortiz, a soldier who wants to convict the murderer of her drill sergeant. There, like that, I guess you do not know her, but if I tell you that it is the wife of Prince Harry, it can maybe tell you something. Yes, Prince Harry's wife, played in Knight Rider. So we also find Richard Burgi, Richard Roundtree, Rick Hoffman, Vanessa Williams, Alona Tal, Zachary Ty Bryan, Vincent M. Ward, Daniela Alonso, Mark Pellegrino, Fred Williamson, and Greg Ellis. The music was made by Christopher Ting, James Bladen, and Jennifer Piken. They are not memorable, they go in the series, but there is plenty of diverse and varied music. Besides that, they used in the latter the theme of the original series was remixed to make the credits. It is not the best version of the remixes that exists, and the soundtrack of the series is not even available on CD, so I don't have much to say about the music. We quickly move to the conclusion. There is also no adaptation of this series. We just find the car and mod in video games like GTA. Same for derivatives. I did not make a category because there is not much except the car in Hot Wheels version, and in different brands and scales we find that in scale model there is not much else. Otherwise, buy it. There are t-shirts, cups, and posters as usual, and here, despite the fact that I broke the series a little in the video, I still liked it. I found that it was improving, but hey, I am once again against the current given the audiences that ended at 5 million in the USA. I would have liked a second season to see where he would have gone, since they had taken a little base of the original. I think the series would be really improved, but hey, that's how we cannot do anything. For DVDs, there is only one season, no matter what is marked on DVDs. I know who is marked season 1 there is, but there is a no season 2, it's just season 1. It's just a mistake to the con they made. There is only one season on this series. We find it easily against. It is not a good price. I find it is supposed to be also available on Apple TV. Tell me for those who pay the subscription if it is still available or not, and otherwise boss system D to see it. Tell me again if you like this series and this video. Don't forget subscriptions, support. There is the tip EEYA. Great, thank you. If you want to leave me a little tip, put an inch, leave comments to tell me what you think. So much for the YouTube refrain, and I say to another video, bye bye.